Now, last night, we invited Senator Langford on from Oklahoma. He's the Republican who co-authored the border bill with Democrats who admitted the border never closes. He said he was in a meeting last night and he couldn't make it. So we invited him on again tonight because we had a lot of questions like, why would you spend $20 billion on a border bill that doesn't close the border? Langford told our team he didn't want to come in tonight to get his skull cracked in. He probably doesn't realize I'm a pussycat. He wrote the bill. I read the bill. Why not tell me how it works? Instead, Langford went on CNN twice to talk with Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, anchors who cover Ukraine's border more than his own. Why are Republicans writing border bills with Democrats to keep the border open, dodging Fox, and then selling it on CNN? Well, because senators hoped nobody would read the bill, and they just smash it into the Ukraine package and pass it. And if the border bill failed, they just blame MAGA Republicans until November.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine.
Biden's going to campaign on Trump didn't secure my border? Good luck. Americans might not be paying attention, but we're not that stupid. Every migrant that crosses says, thank you, Jose Biden. Biden opened the border, then played Senate Republicans for a talking point and won't stop until the Treasury's empty. Obama had half as much border money as Biden and deported millions. Donors want migrants for cheap labor and extra consumption. Democrats want voters, and Biden wants to be a minority.
An unrelenting stream of immigration, nonstop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
Now, in my new book, Get It Together, Troubling Tales from the Liberal Fringe, which you can pre-order right now on Amazon, the first chapter tells the story of an open borders professor. He tries to convince me that America should let in the entire third world. None of his arguments made any logical sense until we delved into his childhood. And a traumatic childhood experience that he shared with me, because I'm such an open and understanding guy, explains exactly what motivates open borders fanatics. There's a revenge fantasy playing out, and you'll have one of those aha moments at the end of the first chapter. Get it together for the aha moment. Now, through a Trojan horse of compassion and vulture economics, the assault on America is being orchestrated by the sadomasochist left and executives who are shielded from the pain. The ruling class just sees dollar signs.
It'll also create more opportunities for families to come together for business, to hire additional workers. This bill is not just good for the border, it's also good for American business and for the American economy. We still need a path of documentation for those who are already here. And we're not walking away from true immigration reform, including permanent protections and a pathway to citizenship.
No, the corporations who control Congress feast on low-wage workers and are insulated from the collateral damage we get from carpet-bombing counties with caravans. The working man feels the impact on their neighborhoods, schools, and streets. Quality of life goes down. Taxes will have to go up. Use your common sense. If you bring in millions of third-world men in their teens and 20s from underdeveloped countries, many of them violent countries, most of them unskilled, uneducated, they come here sponsored by cartels and make their way into our neighborhoods, a percentage of these men will move into street crime. They'll stick together and fly under the radar and metastasize. A migrant moped gang's already robbing women in New York.
These thieves would ride up behind their victims on the sidewalk, steal their property, and then make their getaway. The leader of the crew, identified as Victor Para, will blast out a message via WhatsApp that he is looking for phones. Para will send out specific orders for what type of phone he is looking for.
And the most challenging part for police is tracking down criminals with an indefinite amount of IDs, making it hard to tell who's really who.
They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone, no social media.
They're ghosts. They have no IDs. They're undeportable in sanctuary cities. In Chicago, the local Latin gangs are recruiting migrants the second they step off the bus. You want to make some dinero? Then they go through smash and grab training and are deployed into the burbs to knock off luxury stores and then escape back into the shadows of the sanctuary city in Chicago, leaving cops in the dark. A Miami man was lured to a hotel by two Venezuelan women, probably paroled by Biden. He was then robbed and murdered. A Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua was behind it. They're one of the most vicious gangs in South America, and now they're here, establishing footholds in Miami, Chicago, and New York. Gangs well-funded, heavily armed. The border bill codifies Biden's Venezuelan parole play, so the president of the United States will be funneling gang members from Venezuela to your neck of the woods, either wittingly or unwittingly. These Latin gangs are building an army inside the country. As we saw yesterday, brigades of Chinese migrants, communists, marching into our country, growing unchecked. Central and South American gangs are already here fighting each other and then fighting black street gangs over turf and drug distribution routes. Russian gangs, the mafia, already established players. What kind of relationship does the Biden administration have with the cartels? We don't know, but it's a mutually beneficial one. They win, we lose.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.